Hey guys, Dad's coming. He'll be here in a sec. So I'll hold the fort for the next minute. Hopefully he hasn't fallen asleep. But anyway, how are we all going? Hey Yikes Official, hey Kenya Fields from Western Australia. That's awesome. And I noticed that it's Pauline from Pennsylvania in America. Man, it's 8:21 in the morning, so that's all right. And Alistair, how you going, dude? And Paul, how you going? And Dad's finally making his way over here.
Sorry.
Running late.
Oh, my goodness me. I'm running late to my own show. The joys of an old bladder. When you think you're finished and it just keeps on keeping on. Anyway, here I am. I've got my glasses on so I can see what's happening. Sorry.
Oh,
Anyway, hey, we've got a lot of feedback already.
Yeah.
Whew.
It's already 22 people watching.
Wow.
Hey, Mike from WA as well. That's awesome.
G'day, Mike. What's going on?
I
I hope it's not as cold where you are.
I thought we'd try a different background. A few people suggested rather than just bloody white curtain.
Well,
Should know
rather
better
than
as
a
a camera-
reflection.
Yeah, I should know as a cameraman that it's better background. Anyway, with the new computer that we brought, thanks to the guys
Yes,
from
thank you all you Patreon folks.
We
So we can actually edit shit properly.
yeah, we got this camera hopefully is a little bit better and everything runs a bit better. So thank you, everyone.
And maybe the technology will actually. What did you say the other day when you were rendering the video? Instead of taking 3 hours, it took 3 minutes. So I thought that was pretty good.
Yeah, so that was awesome. So thank you everybody for the support. Means a lot.
Yes, there's hope for us all with technology.
So where are we? How's your tummy a little after appendix surgery?
Ow.
Yeah, not too bad. It gets a bit sore when I work a little too hard, but
Actually, he uses it as an excuse when he took it on because we've been 12 hours into filming and he's going, "Oh, my tummy hurts. I think I might just retire." It's like, I'm fucking 50. You can't retire.
yeah, no, it's getting there. This guy's healing quite well. I'm allowed to lift stuff again.
Yes, he's
So
above 2 kilos now.
So unfortunately, I have to mow my own lawn again.
Poor bugger. Tell you what, with that fucking
He
lawnmower,
still hasn't brought me a lawnmower.
It's not my job to buy him a lawnmower. He's
all right,
old
so
up.
questions, ignoring what you're saying.
He's grody up.
Where are we up to?
I don't know.
Good frost overnight this week in Canberra. Ow.
Tell you what, and it was such a good frost this morning. I reckon we could have gone ice skating on the lawn. That was a bit thicker.
Christian wants to know if the drinking horns have arrived.
No, sorry, Christian, it hasn't. But I'm looking forward to having a drink with you. Can't wait. I tell you what, it could get very awkward that evening. We should do that live. We can all talk shit together.
I think that was the plan.
Yeah.
I don't drink, but Dad does. So
I drink a little bit. I drink enough for him as all. Even though he's got a bigger metabolism than me. That's probably why I'm a bit wobbly.
Yeah, I think your metabolism's a lot better than mine. I look at a burger and I put on weight. Any updates from the flow hive in the garden?
Yes, it's actually the brood nest is doing quite nice. So we've got it ramped up for spring. So hopefully we get some nectar out of it.
Cool.
That's the plan anyway.
One other bit of housekeeping before I forget. The next episode, we're going to try something different due to some suggestions about time zones. The next episode, or Thursday's episode, is going to be coming out at 7 a.m. our time, so 5:30 Eastern Seaboard time in America. So we're going to try something different. So there's an episode in less than 12 hours. So
yeah, because we're thinking some of our American fans might be bored on their trip home from work, and as long as you're not actually driving the car, you can do something on your way home.
Because normally we've been releasing the videos here at 5:30 our time, and so that's night time here and about 4 o'clock in the morning in America. So we're trying something a little bit different. So don't be too alarmed.
Which is pretty bloody ambitious. The fact that our fans in America watch us at 4 in the morning.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a bit of an insomniac, so I kind of get it.
Cool.
Right. I have a question. Yeah. I have a question from one of our good sponsors that look after us, that sponsor us. And
just read the question.
Yeah. Yes. Anyway, she's
Diane's question.
Diane's question. She's asked us, what is the advantages of a double brood box? And I think that's a very valid question, being that we're drifting into winter. And the advantages of a double brood box is that the girls get to mingle up into where the honey is, so they can, you know, like they move around instead of actually having to feed them. But the downside to it is, if you don't have a really good flow, when you go to do your spring check, you end up having to check all blooming 20 frames rather than just 10. So it has an advantage, but it also has a disadvantage depending on how much time we've got. So that's what I've found out so far.
Paul wants to know, are the bees still out foraging during the day?
Yes, believe it or not, yes, they are. I was watching the girls today on some flowers in the backyard, and they were busily collecting pollen, which we should actually film because it's kind of cool them filling their pollen sacks. But yeah, they are out foraging here in Oz. We're lucky enough that we have some, like, I don't know, it's probably 5 hours a day, which is still good for them to fly. So yeah, it's cool. I was watching another beekeeper in, oh crap, I can't remember, in America, where the winter is that jolly snowy that he'd had to have it up the top entrance because the bloody box of bees was half covered in snow. And I thought, man, we don't do that here, but maybe in the snowy mountains, but where I am, there's no snow. It's just bloody cold.
Cool. All right. Dear, first time for Q&A. I love the show. Thank you. My little veg garden says, hey, Aisha, how you going? Hey, I've just wanted to know what I need to set up a hive. Also, where do you get all your beehive boxes from?
Oh, mate, I've got so many beehive boxes from everywhere. It depends what sort of beehive.
Say if you want to start out and you want to
if you just want one and it's cheap, you can go onto iWoohoo and you can get some couple of wooden boxes. But if you want a cool box, you can go to the Australian beekeepers. What are they called? Aussie beekeepers. Anyway, you get a Paradise bee box, which is a foam box. It really depends on how much money you want to spend. Or you can go and get a flow hive, which is really cool, and you don't have to have all the extraction stuff. So there's lots of options if you're looking to get started. The cool thing about it is whatever you do, you'll fall in love with bees.
Cool. Pauline says you should write some songs so you can sing in the video.
I tried. I've actually started to write some songs.
Over the last couple of things that we shot the last couple of days, he has come up with some non-copyrighted songs.
Yes, because we've been copyrighted out of the equation. But Pauline, are you a bit of a musician? You can help me. If I write the words, you can write the soundtrack. Or play the soundtrack.
Leroy, g'day guys. Good to be with you live on a night shift at the fire station, so you'll keep me entertained until the next call. That's awesome.
Well done. Hopefully we do keep you entertained until the next call.
Hopefully you don't bore you to death.
We won't bore him to death.
Not true.
I just hope you don't get a bad call on the fire thing. Like, you know, like at least it's just some cool kids on the beach having a fire rather than a house burning down or some shit.
That's a good point. Christian, that sounds awesome. We can share the amount he would have to consume. They're talking about the drinking corn.
Oh, yes. Well, I tell you what, we can have a drink off.
Sorry, I don't know how to pronounce your name. Hi, Bush Bee Man. Thanks for all the videos. You're welcome. I have a question. I got some crystallized. What's the easiest way to get it back to normal?
Crystallized honey?
Yeah.
Yep. There's a couple of options. My least favorite is zap it in the microwave. My most favorite is to get a warm saucepan and just get some water in a warm saucepan, get a saucepan full of water and warm it up and put your jar in that and just let it temper off and it'll warm up and it will be beautiful. It'll just recrystallize, like re-honeyerize, so it won't have the lumps in it.
Cool.
That's not anyway.
Sarah,
uncrystallized.
can you farm keep native bees?
Can you what?
Can you farm / keep native bees?
You can keep them, but farming them is a bit hard. I read an article about, most native bees are not
solitary.
Yes, most native bees are solitary. They don't have a colony.
Yep.
Ones here in Oz that do decide to have a colony, which is mainly land where it's a bit more tropical, they reckon that out of a good teaspoons of honey to harvest.
That's like that's all the stingless bees.
Yes, the stingless bees. Maybe you get 3 teaspoons a season.
I saw something on Gardening Australia about that, and they had a year's supply of honey they'd harvest, and it was like 3/4 of a jam jar. Yeah,
so much. Which is, but I don't know. I don't know how cool the honey is, but I don't think you keep native bees for the honey. You keep them for the pollination.
Somebody's got a question. What are some of the introductory bee books you recommend for budding beekeepers?
Oh golly, I've got so bloody many bee books. I don't know where, but I think what's that called?
In Australia, it's that Beekeeping for Australian Beginners.
Beekeeping for Beginners, yes. And I can go and get you a stack of them. Hell, depends on what you want. Actually, I'll go and get it. I'll go and get a couple of books.
Go for it.
Okay, I'll be back.
Pauline wants to know what season we're in. They're coming in the summer. We're coming into winter because we're the opposite arse end of the world. We're hanging upside down. We're upside down.
It's brass monkey weather down here.
Where are we next? Everybody's got their great suggestions for decrystallizing honey. My friend had a flow hive and he harvested honey, but the bees did not know the honey was no more, and they died when it got cold because we live in southeast Queensland. It was a week below 11 degrees.
Yeah. Now that's the thing with it. Doesn't matter flow hive, normal hive. It doesn't really matter. The thing to remember is the girls are actually storing the honey for their food supply, and you're just meant to take the excess. So even with the flow hive, if they have a few full frames, take just 2 or 3 maybe out of the 8. Don't take the whole dolly up, especially if it's in the end of the season. If they're early in the season and things are rocking, take the whole lot and they'll fill them all back up again. So it's the same principle, really, regardless. Flow hive, normal hive, it doesn't matter.
Kerry, hey, it's Kerry from Rimmuck. Hang on.
Sorry, Kerry.
No.
How you going? Half barrel honey.
Great idea putting tire on top of your hives rather than cutting them out.
Yes.
I did a big cutout of bees and tires, and it was one messy job.
Tell me about it. That's where I went. Oh my God, I didn't know what to do. And yes, it was kind of awesome that they actually moved downstairs. And
a while.
It did take a while.
How long did you have it there? About 12 months?
Yeah, but because then I ended up having to encourage some of the nest to go down. I just hoped it would just go on to it, but I took, I don't know, probably the middle section of the tire that was easy to get at, but the queen was still not moving down.
Brumber's tube, cool name. My wife is a teacher and wants me to make an observation hive. Take an observation hive into school. I'm going to build the observation hive for 1 or 2 frames. My question is, should I take the queen or should I leave her in the hive with the other bees?
Most observation hives for a school excursion or even a marketplace, they usually take the queen with them because then they all are more chilled out.
Kerry does them.
Yeah.
So, Kerry, if you're still on the stream,
if you're still there, yes,
let us know what you do. That would be awesome because you've got one of those smaller observation hives, and I think you take a few frames with you.
Yeah.
So let us know.
Frames, and I'm pretty sure the queen goes along because it keeps them all chilled out. Because of course she's in charge and she's going, "Shut the fuck up! It's all right."
What honey do you recommend as the most flavor and the type of flowers? Blackberry or something like that?
The best honey? I like the mallee honey off the mallee trees, but I haven't had or blueberries. But no, I kind of like the mallee honey, even though it's pretty thick and intense. So that's nice. But it's not like buckwheat honey, which is like black and horrible. It's just dark and intense.
Cool. I haven't really tried that much honey. I don't like ours.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
I'm
he
biased.
likes ours. I like it.
Where are we?
I don't know. I can't read shit. Even with my glasses, I can't see nothing.
There we go. Sorry. Christian says, I'm not having a drinking competition with the crazy Australian guy. I will crown you the winner before we start.
Oh, I love you, Kristen. Tell you what, if we get to the point where neither of us can understand each other's accent, well, we're all good.
Yeah. Alistair, I was watching the video recently you posted, the beeswax extractor. I think you need to find a mesh around the size 8 over what you have to strain the trash out of it.
Yeah, well, we weren't trying to strain the trash. If you watch on, the whole point of the
3
exercise...
more episodes of it covering.
Yes, there's a few more episodes. The whole point was that was the initial straining. So as I could actually get... So I didn't have to scoop that crap off the top or tip it through a mesh bag and all the rest of it that I've done beforehand. So that's my attempt to make life a little bit easier for an old body. And actually, if you watch on, I think it was quite successful.
Oh, it's extremely successful compared to
when we started.
Crazy shit that we've done.
Oh
to make
my
it happen.
goodness me! Even this bloke covered in wax when they were early virgins. Versions, not virgins. I tell you what, it's been a long time since we've had an early virgin.
Oh, shut up, Dad.
I can make the blood on the
Stop. Stop talking.
Stop it. Oh, God. Back that shit up. Anyway, moving right along. Freaked me out.
Does the flavour of the honey change with the season of the year? Like in winter, it's cold. Does it taste different when it's hot in summer? Cheers, Luke.
Shit, yeah. The flavour of the honey changes for whatever they're working on. Not that they normally make a lot of honey in winter, like they normally are just trying to stay alive. But spring and summer and whatever's flowering, and that's the cool thing. When you move them around, they get all sorts of weird, really cool different flavours.
Cool.
So just depends what they're working on.
Harry, g'day, boys. Mark, what's happening with the DPI and the idea of trying to put native bees in local backyards throughout Australia? Do you know what
DPI? What's a DPI?
I'm not sure. I'm assuming it's an Australian department of government.
I think the cool thing about Australian native bees is what we really need to do is just provide them with a place to be. Is that a weird thing?
Yeah, like bee hotels.
Yeah, like little bee houses. You can do bee gardens or bee hotels, whatever they call them. And the thing is, there's about, there's about 270 of them, but I think there's about sort of 18 or so that are pretty prolific that you can actually help. But you can't really keep them as such, as far as I know, because they're more individual. So they sort of go together, but you can't really farm them.
Yeah.
Down here in South Australia, anyway. We had a beautiful blue-banded bee today that we were filming that was gorgeous.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, and he was having a little bit of a suck on the lavender.
Chris Bernada, that's a cool name. Hey, Bush Bee Man, love your videos, really good. Tell me when you brought your bees from Wild Bill as what they were like, as he lives really nearby.
Well, the thing with Wild Bill is he's actually catching swarms out of the Adelaide suburbs, and some of them are really good and some just a little bit crap, which is what I said early on. And he has no real control over the quality of the bees that he catches. But I would have to admit that I would say 2/3 of the hives that we got from him have turned out really good. A third of them have been a little bit dodgy ass because they were a little bit. Well, there was nothing wrong with them. They were just a bit angry.
Yeah. DPI stands for Department of Primary Industries.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Are
Kerry,
you an important person then?
Skipping ahead a little bit, Kerry says, take the queen, with the observation hive, going to the schools. Take the queen. Everybody loves looking for the queen. I never leave the bees in the observation hive for more than 12 hours.
Yes. Because Kerry has it, like I would be thinking if you're going to a school or a market, you've got them sealed in with a bit of sugar water and like they're not actually allowed to actually get out. Yeah. Obviously, if you're at the friggin' market, you don't necessarily want them flying in and out.
Yeah, I don't know how you'd go.
I don't think you could.
If you went to school when they got out.
Although I have
never be invited to any school ever again if the bees got out of the observation.
I did think you could have a very tall chimney. Like if you took the observation hive in and you had a chimney and they could just fly out the top so the kids would be away from them. No,
You're an idiot.
I just thought that could work. That could work.
Okay. The bush bee man, you should have a veggie garden and grow some potatoes.
I am having a veggie. I have got a veggie garden now. I had a veggie garden before, and now I've got back into veggie growing because of this whole beekeeping thing has got you be in touch with nature again. And my daughter is getting really keen about being healthy, so she wants some cabbages to make some pickled cabbage stuff, whatever it is. Anyway, so that's got to wait for spring, but I've got some wicked ass peas planted at the minute. Sugar peas and snow peas and beans and anyway. So yes, I am gardening.
Cool. Have you put the bottom covers on the paradise boxes for winter, or is it open ventilated?
Well, apparently you're not meant to put the blooming things in the bottom. They're only meant to be to monitor the disease. They're only meant to monitor the diseases. It's not meant to be to seal them up, which is what I thought would be a good idea. Sorry.
All right.
It's been a big afternoon.
It's been a big day.
It's been a big day. Can I have a little sleep over here?
I spent half the day fixing fixing the fucking camera, but anyway. It's compressed air. Anyway.
Sorry, anyway, that was just
a new camera, anyway,
major excitements here today trying to get the bloody camera so we can film some more shit without dots all up my nose.
Yeah,
it's okay when I've got dots on my own nose.
People have pointed out there's been some big splotches on the videos, and I'm really sorry. The camera's getting old.
We're not sure exactly how we have a fundraising campaign to get a new camera so we can keep the show alive, but any hints would be cool because anyway, I don't really know. We're having a controversy because I'm saying we should just ask the audience to help us. This bloke's going, we can't bloody ask them. It's okay. We're supposed to do it. Oh, fuck me. We've got to have some money to buy one. Anyway, there's been a bit of a banter on between us, and he's not even going to join in.
What do I ever add to it?
I don't know. The fact that you were
Dean Dole said, Dean Dole. Good morning from Canada.
What the fuck? Where's Dean? What? Get out of town.
Name. I'm not even lying to you. That's what his screen name, or his or her screen name was. Where did it go? Yeah, Dean Dole.
Cool. Good morning from Canada, Dean Dole. Awesome.
How are the bees in the freezer chest?
Fridge, actually. Yeah, going good. They haven't gotten to the freezer because they didn't need that part. But the fridge bees, yeah, they're going good. Except for the ones in the... Well, I had 2 fridge hives. One's really going cool. One didn't like the farmer neighbour bloke who did an insecticide spray on his friggin'... Well, they weren't peas. They were vetch, I think they were. So that didn't do them a lot of good. So they need to move. But anyway, well, they can't move. The box needs to move.
The front and loader.
It wasn't a real good idea. I'm not an idiot. I didn't know who's going to kill the shit.
Oh, your neighbour did it. Okay.
Yeah, my neighbour, not me.
Oh, okay. Uncle Reggie says hi from across the pond.
Hey, is that New Zealand? Good on your edge.
Both of you should... Pauline says, both of you should do some talking together because the way you get along and joke around is funny and comforting, but don't have it do it all the time because I love the way your dad talks to himself. Yeah, I try and let dad just talk to himself for most of the time, but sometimes it's worth making.
Talking to yourself comes from the fact that I've spent a lot of my life by myself. And so you have to have a conversation with somebody, and talking to twigs gets weird.
Chris Benita says, thanks for that. I'll think about it if I use him for beekeeping, the wild bill guy.
Yeah.
Where are we up to? Sorry, guys. Both of you should... Oh, no, we did that. Kindy, an update on... kindly an update on the fridge, ladies. Oh, we just did that. Sorry.
Yeah. They're working good.
Uncle Reggie, would lifting regulations on keepers and tightening restrictions on insecticides be good or bad for the non-commercial beekeepers? That's a complicated question.
Hang on.
Would lifting regulations on beekeepers and tightening restrictions on insecticides be good or bad for non-commercial beekeepers?
Well, I think any insecticide's bad for bees. But the trouble is, I mean, not everybody's responsible. So that's why there's all these restrictions, because most of us beekeepers are loving our bees and trying to do the right thing, but there's just a few folks that have, I guess, need regulating. Is it?
Yeah,
I don't know. It's hard to say. I mean, I don't really know. I mean, I like being self-regulated, but I also know that we kind of need legislation to be regulated. And so it's an awkward question to answer, really. If everybody would do the right thing and do their inspections and make sure they control the diseases, we wouldn't need regulation. But the fact that that hasn't happened, we need regulations, which annoys the shit out of me because I hate regulations. So I don't really know how to answer that. I'm sorry, Tegan, if you're watching.
Here we go. So sorry.
Sorry. That was a fucking long-winded answer, wasn't it?
Okay. I really don't want to use queen excluders on my hive. Do you have any advice for keeping a queen from laying in the honey super? If you don't like queen excluders, which is cool, the way that usually works is if you have a double brood box, so you have 2 brood boxes, and generally, as a general rule, if you put a super on top of that and there's a really cool flow, she won't go up and lay there because she doesn't need to. But there's no guarantees because she might get her head and go up there and bloody put the honey downstairs. So why don't you want to use a queen excluder is my next question, other than the fact that it's bad for the bees to squeeze through it. What are the main crops you like to grow? I think they're talking not just maybe the veggie garden and almonds.
Yes. My main veggie crop I love. At the minute, I've got this mad idea that I'm growing these broad beans. So, because my mother-in-law showed me a way to pluck the seeds out of the broad beans and eat the white kernels, which is kind of cool, fried in butter and bacon, which sort of defeats the purpose of beans that are meant to be healthy. But anyway,
they taste good.
They do.
Normally taste like arse. So
they do. Yeah. Well, shit. I don't know if I've eaten too many asses, but anyway, I'll take your word for it.
Somebody asked a good question. Mark, have you been on the terps?
Probably. Just a little bit.
Oh my god. All right. Good afternoon, evening to both of you. Love the show. I'd love to start beekeeping, but can you give me the tips on how to start in the garden, or do we need some flowers, or will the girls find their own? P.S. from the UK.
They will find the flowers within 5K. So it depends where you are. If you're not in the middle of a desert somewhere, which in the UK you wouldn't have a desert, but if you're not 100 miles from anywhere, you don't necessarily need your own flowers because they're not that particular. They've not got signs out saying no bee foraging on the neighbour's flowers. Just depends. As long as you haven't got like heaps of other competition, you should be fine.
Harry made a suggestion about the Patreon, and the subscribers can contribute to a purchase by having a wish list. That's not a bad idea.
Yeah, a wish list. That sounds like a good idea.
Yeah.
That's what we were trying to discuss today whilst I was getting in trouble.
You weren't getting in trouble. We were just discussing it.
Yeah. Okay.
How's the truck project going? LOL.
Tell you what, we're in discussion at the minute. I think at the moment we're going to end up, because of the new truck laws in Oz. South Australia has got this whole new truck law thing. We don't know what's going on. We're thinking we're going to mount the crane on a trailer and tow it behind a ute. Well, a ute. The wife wants a new ute, so she might get a cool ute. Ultimately, if we ever make any money out of being beekeepers, which isn't likely, but
we'll give it a go.
Don't tell her that bit. Anyway, that's where we're up to. So we're looking at 12-volt motors at the minute.
Harry makes another good point. It's when you start answering yourself back that you need to worry. When you just got to talking to yourself.
Hell, I'm in trouble then.
Will the beekeeping gardener, will you ever come up to Brisbane and do a meet and greet?
We're planning on it. All we need is enough resources and time.
Yeah.
like economical resources. Actually, we could do around Australia thing, Australia and New Zealand meet and greet chat. We just got to make a living.
Watching from the UK, enjoying a bee journey. Would love to start beekeeping, but expensive, close neighbours and little land, and that makes it really tricky.
Yeah. But I'm pretty sure. I mean, I don't know about which part of your local bylaws are, but I'm fairly sure even if you're in suburbia, you're allowed to have a couple of hives. Because if it's like anywhere else in the world, there's plenty of bees that are flying around regardless. So if you just join in but actually manage them, do the right thing by your ag department or whoever the hell they're called, wherever you are, and just register and you should be able to harvest some honey regardless of how big your plot of land is. Well, as long as you don't stick it under your wife's clothesline, because she'll be really shitted off about that.
Paul wants to know, can we make another video about the observation hive? Actually, I opened today to have a look, and they're clustering, so we should, because that was pretty cool. This is something I've never actually seen them do.
Yes, they're all sitting together, having a little wriggle to keep each other warm.
Good save. Thomas, where are you located? I'll be visiting Australia from the 10th of July to the 17th in Canberra again. Sydney and Canberra. Unfortunately, we're halfway across the country, so
we're in South Australia, the arse end of Australia. It's a little poor state down there that no one gives a shit about.
Fancy some?
Oh, sorry, is that too much?
Fancy some killer bees from Kenya? Probably
not. Thank you very much. But I'd like to film them. We'd like to come to Kenya and film that. Although I did read about the Kenyan beekeepers that are
stand out there and let yourself.
That's what I was saying. No, but I was just going to say, the Kenyan beekeepers that don't have a bee suit, they just go out there naked, so they don't have to worry too much. And I'm like, my white ass with all those cool dudes might be a bit awkward.
I'll
stand out. They'll bite the shit out of me.
Nobody will get stung except for you.
Yeah.
Jay Tyler, you got any ideas to keep ants out of the hive? These little ants here in Queensland are nasty, building in the lids.
I was talking to a dude the other day, and what he does, I can't guarantee this, and I thought it was a really simple idea, is if you get the pallets, like a normal pallet, and you cut them down so as that they'll, the right size for a hive, that just save you an effort. So you cut them down so the width of a hive, and then you paint them with diesel and sump oil, obviously oil out of a truck or a tractor is good, but you mix them up with a little bit of half and half diesel and sump oil and paint them up, which is really horrible and mucky, and you get shit all over yourself. But when you let it soak in and then you sit it there and you put your bee box on the top of that, and the ants won't run up it. That's either that or the sticks and tins and shit. But I thought that was kind of cool.
Cool.
It seemed to work anyway.
I've heard back to the queen excluder question.
Yes.
I've heard that it hinders the bees from their work and decreases their life. It's my first year of beekeeping, and I really wanted bees to survive the winter here in New England.
I totally agree. It does make them work harder when they squeeze. It depends on the queen excluder too. There is several different queen excluders to pick from, but yes, it does. It does make them work too hard. So, but the only drama is if the queen's laying where the honey is, it makes it a bit hard to get the honey harvest.
Christian, what is the weirdest animal you've ever had in your house/garden?
The weirdest animal?
It's a brilliant question. You?
Oh, it's harsh. Actually, it's probably him. I mean, I've read him, but anyway. The weirdest animal. I
probably
reckon
Spud the cat. No,
man.
He was the grumpiest arsehole.
He was the grumpiest cat.
Anyway.
Yes. Well, I was kind of thinking about those bloody shit. What's it called? Maybe the guinea pigs that were weird. They were awkward. But we had them as pets.
We had a little beagle called Molly, and she was insane. And if she got in the house, she'd run around up and down the house until one of us caught her. But one year after Easter, my sister used to stock up all Easter eggs and keep them for like she'd still have she'd time it out that she'd just finish eating the chocolate like the week before Easter. Anyway, the dog got it. Christmas. Was it Christmas or Easter? Whatever it was.
Made the Easter eggs lace to Christmas.
Anyway, the dog got it. Molly got in the house and ran around and then chewed through the chocolate. And luckily, she didn't get too sick, but she just destroyed all this chocolate Tiffany had been stashing. So if you're watching this, Tiff, I'm sorry, but that was pretty funny.
Yeah, it was classic.
Okay. Thank you for the info. I didn't know that you would go up to 5Ks away. Any tips on how to start off about the bees? You can fly up to 5Ks. Any other tips for starting off? The water thing.
Water's a good idea, especially in summer. I think the most important thing, if you're thinking, just drive around your neighbourhood. If you're in the neighbourhood, obviously, just drive around and see what trees are planted and what they're doing. That's pretty. I mean, the girls aren't going to stay in your backyard. It's not like having a pet chicken. They've got wings and they can bugger off and do whatever they like. As a matter of fact, they'll fly more than 5Ks. It's just easy foraging in 5Ks. They'll go 10Ks at a desperation, but it's not necessarily productive for them.
Yeah.
And just don't tell your neighbours, because then every kid within bloody 3 kilometres of your house will decide it was your fault that they got stung.
Bushy's bees make a good point about the queen excluder thing.
Mm-hmm.
Use the excluder, but remove it before winter so the cluster can move up and consume the stores.
Yes,
that's probably a good solution. That way during spring you'll be able to harvest your honey, but also during winter there'll be less trouble for the bees.
Absolutely right. As long as there's honey stores in the super that you're going to let them into.
Yeah.
Otherwise it's a bit pointless. But yes, as long as they've got stores. And then the cluster will move up and make a bit of a circle. And they'll move around where the stores are and keep it all warm. Because sometimes if they can't do that and the honey's cold, then the girls can't actually go up and harvest it and bring it back to the cluster. So, yeah, it's very good. That's what they do in the natural world. Natural world? Whatever. In their natural environment.
Ian and Glenda wants to know, how's your gorgeous wife handling the truck project? John, you do a great job controlling your dad. You know what? It's like a bushfire. You're just kind of trying to control the perimeter and make sure it doesn't spread. Is essentially how managing my dad is.
My dear wife's gone to bed in disgrace. It's about my truck project.
That's because we made her turn the Foxtel box off. But
no. But sometimes she's given up on my truck project.
My grandma's response is my favourite part of this whole truck project response.
In my defense, yet again, the truck was actually about the crane, because I figured the crane is old school farm manufacturing, and I think I could reinvent it. Well, recreate it. Whereas like an easy lifter, which is like friggin' fancy hydraulics and shit, I sure as hell can't make one of them.
Where are we up to? Sorry. I have to go to bed now. I have school tomorrow. Good night. See you, Will, the bee gardener. Thank you so much.
On your Will.
Filing account. I tune in. My white ass. All right, this is going to be good. Awesome.
Uh-oh.
Perfect time to tune in. The Gamer Windows. Evening Widows, sorry. Evening, gents. I'm a former Mallee girl from over the border. Love watching videos and seeing the familiar landscape. Thank you.
Cool. What was about my white ass? Where'd that go?
That was about he only signed in just as you were talking about the Indian bees.
Sorry. You had to have the prelude to that comment.
We're up to. Do you give your bees water, and how do you do it? Because my bees drown in the tiny bit of water. Thanks to all your funny wisdom.
Oh well, make sure they've got something to float on. If you're going to give them water, you got to put some corks or some cut up noodles. Well, foam things to float on, anything so they can float, so as the ladies can land on something and have a drink. So just make sure you've got something for them to actually I've used corks, or I've used like I said, the cut up little noodles, or if you go to Bunnings or your hardware store and you can get that exercise mat that floats too, as long as they can, get in there and that's why they drown, is because they get thirsty and they need to. Hell, the really awkward part about it is if you get enough of them drowning, then they land on themselves. But that's a bit wrong. But anyway.
Christian says, looks like the drinking horn will be there Friday or Monday. It's in Sydney, Australia. I don't know how long it will take to get there. I'm just guessing.
Could take Sounds good, Kristen. Looking forward to it.
Was it just me or did comments disappear? Yeah, that was odd. I don't know what's happened there. We haven't deleted any, but
who knows? Jolly internet.
Anyway, Paul he uses a chicken waterer. Put some rocks in the channel.
Yep,
that works.
Yeah, that'll go. Yeah, and you can, or a bird bath with rocks, and so as that they can, so as long as it's not just open water, rocks is fine too. But hell, if you want to have something that floats that they can land on, is the go, or rocks that is like a bird bath with, so they can actually drink through it. I mean, the cool thing is if they're in the exercise in the natural world, they'll land on the edge of the water and on a dam or a pond or something, or reeds or whatever they are in the natural water source stuff.
Did you buy the next truck?
We're still arguing about trucks.
No, we didn't. No, we didn't buy that next truck.
That one. No, we thought better of it. We had a chicken schnitzel instead.
I don't know if you go back and watch that episode again really carefully. The poor bastard zaps himself with the car batteries when he sparks it.
Well, my favourite part of that episode, or even when we weren't doing the episode, my favourite part of it was when he said, "Don't fucking worry whether the truck goes or not. Just take my word for it and just take it away. It's all good. Just buy it and be done with it." And it's like, oh my goodness me, I don't know about that. Even I'm not that silly. I'm pretty silly, but still.
Bushy Bees uses those foam mats with the holes for kids' play areas. Yes.
Yes,
that's the go. We use them.
Yep. So they can float and land on them and have a drink.
Pauline, when's your next video coming up? Our next video is actually we're trying a different time release, so we're going to do 7 a.m. tomorrow morning. So less like 8 hours, 9 hours time. So we're trying something a little bit different. Trying something a little bit different. So just to see if we hit a better amount of people in America, because that was just one of our suggestions we had, because we're normally releasing it at night here on a Thursday night at 5:30, which is like 4 o'clock in the morning on East Coast time in America. So just try something different, see how it goes, because we get more viewers on the Tuesday episode. So we figured we'll take the risk on the Thursday. So so
people can watch it on the train on the way home from work. Who knows? Hell, I'm a bit of a train wreck on my own. What do we got?
Yikes official stream. Good. Thanks, guys. I'm looking over here. What program are you using for the live stream? I'm just using the MacBook Pro that we got and the inbuilt camera, and just using the YouTube live stream webcam. Just straight through the website. So
straight streaming.
Pretty straightforward. I mean, it annoys me as a cameraman that the exposure keeps changing, but I can deal with that. We're only here.
It's very professional.
Asking questions.
We spent half a day getting a dust speck out of the camera today, so that's how. And I didn't realise there'd been complaints about the dust speck. So anyway, back to the reiteration about that. That was rather interesting today. Yeah. I was being very patient, I think.
Well, it's just,
and it needs to happen.
The camera I'm using is 7 years old, and it's a stills camera,
and it's technically a video camera.
Yeah,
which is kind of cool.
A bit worn out.
It's a bit like me. It's a bit over. It's a bit like sad, but I'm going to rally. The camera might not, because it can't regenerate. Was that wrong?
It's easier to replace the camera than you.
Yeah, well, I'm unreplaceable. Hell, where are you going to get this nose from?
So, like how that's your one redeeming factor that you point about yourself.
What, my nose?
Yeah.
No, my one redeeming factor is I made you.
And Tiffany, don't make her.
Well, and Tiffany, yes, definitely.
Christian just said that he sent you a link with the tracking details for the whole.
Cool. Can't wait to have a drink out of that.
Good night, Harry. Thanks for watching.
Good on you, Harry. Take it easy. Sweet dreams.
Yeah, any other ways of supporting us than Patreon? Yes, there sure is. On the channel, there's a PayPal link. And if you don't want to do PayPal, we'll completely understand. If you email us, we can give you the direct debit. And you can transfer some money that way. That way it's just straight to us and no fees or anything. If you would rather that, it makes it easier.
Yeah, we have quite a few people that are supporting us that way. It was direct debit, and because they don't like PayPal or the other options, and of course that puts you in complete control of how that is for what you want to donate.
Yeah. And thank you everybody that is supporting us on Patreon. It makes a huge difference. And
absolutely right. We wouldn't still be here, I don't think, if we weren't getting supported, because hell, we wouldn't have this laptop for a start, and we would have collapsed because the technology we were using shit itself.
Yeah. So thank you everybody for your support. It means a lot to us, and it's made this possible. And we want to keep making it possible. We don't want to have to resort to going to making commercials during the show. That's another thing that the other thing that I don't really particularly want to do is, I don't know, if you see a lot of YouTube videos like the Squarespace sponsorship and those kind of things, and Dollar Shave Club ads, I don't really want to go down that avenue. I don't feel like it would add to our show, and it doesn't feel right either. And and we also would like to keep it independent. We don't really want to have to try and go and pitch for money from networks or anything like that, because I think we end up losing the tone and the heart of the show if we go and do something like that. So
and the banks weren't real keen to lend us a few bucks to buy a new camera, so I don't know where we go with that.
What bank did you go to?
Yeah, well, they just kind of went, well, I don't know, we can actually make that happen, even though I showed them the fact that you guys love us. But anyway, doesn't matter. Moving right along.
How long have you been beekeeping? Chelsea wants to know.
Probably about 5 years for real. But before that, a bit as well. But I would say I'd consider it real beekeeping for about 5 years.
Yeah.
And proper commercially eyes for about 2 years.
Yeah.
Like the next bit. So since you guys have been along for the ride when I've been kicking it up a year.
Cool. That's a good question. Bushy bees. I caught a swarm 2 days ago. What's the largest you've heard of? The latest you've heard of swarms leaving?
Oh, they will leave late summer, but they're not usually so good. The spring ones are the best to catch, depending on where you are But yeah, like even late summer, they'll still swarm out and do something crazy if they get too populated. Well, depending on what sources are going, but the spring ones are the best ones, I think, because you get usually you get a better, healthier flow. But hell, they'll swarm anytime that they get too crowded. It's just not the best this late in our time this summer year.
Yeah, Corridor. The last few episodes I shot, the dust has been on the sensor, and it's been a little bit disheartening because I'm a bit of a perfectionist. But anyway. Only a few people notice, which is good.
Yes. There's been a whole lot of air spraying and air compressors and fucking getting told off that my eye cleaning lens didn't work. I had an eye cleaning rag.
Anyway, and then we brought one.
And we brought one with a creepy kid on it.
I don't know why there's a creepy kid on it, but anyway.
Apparently, apparently glass cleaning lens rags are not
I
ideal.
knew it wasn't the best choice, but been 3 hours from the closest camera store. It was one option, and then I found some compressed air, a container of compressed air, and I made it work after a little while. But I did learn piece of advice: if you do use these, don't do it this way, because what happens is the air
liquid comes out.
No, it freezes, and so it liquefies the air that's coming out. So always keep it 90 degrees. Anyway, that would have been easier if I just read the instructions straight away instead of wasting time. But
hey, wonder where he gets that from? Not reading the instructions. I like it. Hey. That's actually that's recorded almost now, but probably not. But
Shovel Rick Shovelhead says, "G'day boys, how you going? What if you advertise bee stuff?" Yeah, I mean it's tricky because the other thing is like we appreciate being sent stuff and we'll review it and like try it out and that kind of stuff. But I mean, I think the bee industry is a little bit small for that kind of advertising. But if you've got a big company or you got a small company and you want to advertise some stuff, feel free to send us an email. We'll work with you guys, and but the one thing will always be be upfront and honest with you guys if it is an ad or if they have paid for some advertising, because
we haven't got to getting paid for advertising yet, but hell, we're getting a bit of reach, so I'm sure we're going to get approached soon enough.
Yeah, but we'll always try to be honest with you guys about if it is an ad.
Yeah.
Bushy B says keep it true. Thank you. And Paul, we're not going to try and do commercials, and we understand not everybody can support us, and you guys are supporting us by just watching the show, because we get a small amount of revenue from the ads that play before the videos anyway. So we really appreciate that.
So even if you can't economically support us, just share us and like us and just spread the virus through your friends.
Just keep watching as well. So chat to your friends about it. Bushy Bees and Mildura, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Good on you, Mildura. That's not far away.
A swarm. He caught a swarm
in Mildura just last week.
Yeah.
Ooh. Yes. Wow. But it should be all right, because they'll have a queen in there. Just put them somewhere, like, probably not a really big swarm. Just get them in your little nute box and keep them cozy. Give them a little bit of food, and they should rock on.
Paul said, I did notice my drones get kicked out last weekend. Does that usually happen around the first good frost?
Yes, most definitely, because the drones are not necessarily of any use this time of year. So the poor males get the little heave-ho because they're just using resources. And, of course, the ladies know they can make some more blokes. It's a bit ordinary if you're a man in a bee box.
Hey guys, I don't mind commercials as long as two things. One, honesty is that the honesty about it, that it is a commercial and allows you to be honest about the product. Yeah, that would be our thing. And the other thing would be, my thing would be that with the product that we are advertising, that we know it's a good product, because that's another thing that I feel strongly about, is just not advertising random shit and actually knowing that you're advertising a good product. So,
and at least sort of related to what we're doing. Yeah,
definitely. That's why, the called Squarespace and Dollar Shave Club and that kind of shit doesn't really kind of correspond with our channel.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's, I think it would take away from what we're creating. Yikes, officials. Man, I can't deal very well with bees since I look like Jake in the movie Avatar. Getting stung around my eyebrows and face, like watching them though. Aisha seems determined though, so let's see how she goes. If she gets into, I'll try and keep without going to Panama again. Pandora again. It's Nick, by the way. Hey, Nick. Hey,
man. The drama is, of course, you get bit on the face, or stung on the face, I should call it the right terminology. Then you swell up way worse because it's got nowhere to go. So, if you get stung on your rest of your body, well, most of the time, but because it's
on my birthday, I got stung on the face, and so then it keeps pulling until it surrounds the sting with fluid. But if it keeps running down the side of your face, there's nothing much to do about it.
That's where the
swelling happens. Then you look like the elephant, man.
Absolutely right. Or someone from Pandora. I like that. That's a good terminology.
Bush bees. I'm all over it already, mate. Like a fat kid on cupcakes. Nice. Christian, independence is key. Or the next thing we will see is some weird ad for Viagra or some exercise bike. This awkward
don't take the blue pill. Don't take the blue pill.
There'll be this awkward video of Dad running on a treadmill.
Ooh, that could be awkward. That'd be like.
Is there a magic cure for bringing the swelling down? Time,
no.
I would say.
Apparently, though, early on, if you don't like the stinging sensation, you can put some pee on it, and that will stop it hurting.
Didn't Bear Grylls just say that's bullshit?
I don't know, but it works.
He stuck a rubber hoses up his ass in one episode. Have you ever seen that episode?
What? Get out of town. What was he trying to do? Is he doing shit?
No, was he trying to rehydrate himself somehow?
Not very likely. I'm not watching that.
He blurred it.
I'm a bit weird, but
I just feel sorry for the camera. But
let's not go there.
Would you not get stung on the Jolly member tending bees with a bee suit on? Yeah, you would.
I have been stung on the Jolly member, which is not very friendly.
Why does that come up every live stream we do?
I don't know, but it is awkward. Because you go for a little bit of have a leak, and the ladies they've got a bit of a thing. That hasn't happened that
Been
often.
watching other bee videos on YouTube. One guy swears by 2-frame nukes in America. I think they use them to build up to 5 frames. Thoughts on that system in Australia?
Yeah, well, it's all relative to how big the nuke is. Like ultimately, I mean, if you have a big split, you can start. The bigger the better. But yeah, shit, two frames is fine, and they'll breed up. 5 frames is better because they'll breed up quicker. It's all depends on the food that's available and how much resources you've got to make the split. I'm in trouble. Something's happened.
Sorry, keep going until I get to
sorry. Anyway, yes. So my opinion is the bigger the split, the better and quicker they'll turn into a productive hive. But yeah, if you want to make lots of splits and you've got plenty of food, then 2 frames will breed into 5 frames, or will turn into 8 frames, or will turn into a whole big brood box. Just depends on the season.
Alistair, a few things where some bees might get you going over Viagra. And
yes,
then we tried offering to help by peeing on his greenhorn this year when he got stung by blue bottles. What the hell happened there? You got to tell the full story. Yikes. Christian says I saw man, this is getting out of control.
We're definitely
Christian said I saw Bear Grylls once tell a guest on a show she had to pee on him. See, so that's
offered a golden shower. Bear Grylls having a golden shower.
Anyway,
anyway, I'm not sure where he got peed on, but still.
Barnyard bees is
normally when I talk about peeing on your bee sting, you're not pissing all over yourself. You put a little bit put a drop on your finger and rub it on the sting.
But also, isn't it that your own piss is better than anybody else's?
I don't know. I've never had a hot chick piss on me, so I don't know. That's a whole nother genre. I have to ask Donald about that.
Stop.
Sorry.
Stop it. Stop it.
Back that shit up.
Yeah. Okay, anybody got any questions?
Sorry, folks. I've digressed. It's been a big afternoon here.
I offered a friend cheap.
Oh
no, it's all right. I offered my friends cheap puffy. Oh my god.
Where are we?
Okay.
I wish I could read, but
I offered my friends cheap puffy lips for my bees, only $100 instead of $2,000.
Yeah, cool. I was on that whole bloody shit. What's that called? Botox things for bees, and I figured you could just sell them a cage of 5 bees. They can stick them on their lips.
Have you seen the video where they pinch them in their hand and they push them right up against the person's lips and then they sting them?
Look at that.
It's like that cup thing that they went this big craze where people were sucking on a cup to get bigger lips and then it just screw up. Imagine if you just the bee only stung you on one side and
I think just be happy with the lips God gave you. Fuck it. I mean, honestly, it's just ridiculous.
Paul just said, "Oh my god, why my wife's asking me why I'm laughing so hard."
Sorry, champ. I haven't got you in trouble.
Another serious question. Tips on what types of gloves do you guys get?
What type? Oh well, hell, I like the leather cowhide leather gloves, and the long arms are cool. Although I've got it starting to get a little bit relaxed now without the gloves on.
Me too.
But it depends on
it
depends how crazy they are.
Yeah, if they're nut job ones,
yeah.
We
have still got a few psycho ones.
Yes.
We've nearly weaned out all the crazy bees.
Alistair says next channel, bush bee porn. Get better bees so you don't need gloves.
That's what we're working on.
What is the best advice for a newbie on how to start with bees?
Get one box or 2 boxes is good, and just work with them and find out whether you like it or not. And if you like it, you'll get addicted, and the next thing you know, they'll have 10, 20, 100. If you don't like it, you'll give them away to someone who will probably give them to the neighbours.
Cool.
So yeah. Start small and just see how you get on.
Oh, cool. It's next. Oh, sorry, Nick. I keep forgetting that's your channel. name. All right. So the blue bottle. There's lots of blue bottles off the shelf while tuna fishing down south of Kangaroo Island this year. So each time we made a shot the net away, we get jellyfishes through the net. He wouldn't wear a jacket because it was so hot, so we started getting jellies common and her settle for a rashy. Oh man!
Jellyfish bites. Oh, that's not real friendly. Oh, okay. I reckon even I wouldn't do that.
No.
Is that a relative to the point that because I think you can pee on jellyfish bites too, and they're supposed to help, but I'm not really.
Apparently.
Salt, I think it was salt or fresh water was meant to be good for them too, but I can't remember how the story went because I was a fair way away from the ocean where I was. When I was at the ocean, there wasn't any jellyfish to worry about.
Nick said it was funny to him.
Yeah, of course, if it's not your ass getting stung, it's always hilarious watching someone else suffer.
Cool. So that's the hour, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Yep.
What the hell?
Yeah.
How did that happen?
That happened.
And the best placement, I would ask Sandra Singram.
Facing towards the morning sun.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Facing towards the morning sun. Try to have it so that the evening sun isn't where they're landing in the especially when it's hot as hell. That doesn't do them any good.
Yeah, we do under our own wax.
Yes,
so the next 3 episodes is about finishing off cleaning the wax and creating molds, and then what we do with it afterwards.
Mm-hmm. And we had a good run.
And if you want some of what we do afterwards with it, there's some stuff already on the website, some products we make with it.
Yeah.
All right.
It's a bit involved making the wax clean.
Awesome. All right. Well, next, I think it's just the heat because jellyfish are cold water poison or something. I just run my arms under a hot shower to get if I get a stung. Thanks for the stream, guys. Thanks everybody. Thanks for watching.
Yes.
Paul, I do have a drone. I've got a Mavic Pro, so that's what I use.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Thank you guys for watching. Please continue to watch
and help us.
Watching the show if you wasted an hour watching us talk about it.
Wasn't wasted. How could it be wasted listening to your knowledge? Can't be wasted. Look at us. Look at us here, down under, upside down. Don't call it wasted. It was a very experience, wasn't it? True. We're all more informed, including myself.
Tristan says he'll let him know when you get the horn. And
bloody oath, we'll be having a drink.
We'll do a Skype call, and also we'll do it next month.
Yeah, like I said, we're going to have a drink together over the internet because we couldn't probably do it in real life. Although, hell, if we get enough Patreon support, we'll come to you and have a drink together in real life. But at this moment in time, that's not going to happen.
Cool. All right, guys.
Love you all.
Fishing Trips. That's an awesome name. Wants a shout out for his new baby daughter, Abigail.
Abigail, good on you. Fish and chips. Trips.
Awesome.
Sorry.
Thanks, everybody. Don't forget to keep commenting and liking and sharing our videos. And if you
send us a picture of Abigail, we'll pop her up on the post.
Thank you for supporting us through Patreon and any other ways. There's a PayPal link on the channel and email us if you want to direct debits and stuff. But thank you guys for all the support. Thank you for the wonderful questions, and we'll have another one.
And how does that go for the internet? Don't forget to share, like, and how does it go? Share, like, and
spread. What's the last word, Dan?
I don't know. Share and like and something. Subscribe. That's what it is. I know it's the 3 S's. It's the 3S club. Share. No, that's a L. Share, subscribe, and something.
All right.
There must be 3 S's in it.
Yeah. While this geriatric guy figures out what he's saying, we're going to head off. So
anyway, don't forget to spread the word and tell everybody that it's a cool show to watch.
Thanks, guys. And don't forget, next episode's out in
upside down time.
So we're putting it out in 9 hours. So, so anybody in Australia, it's going to be out early, but you can still watch it tomorrow night if that's usual viewing time. But just
very concerned
we'll test it out and see how it goes. Yeah, anyway.
See you guys.
Love you guys.
Bye.
Bye.